Hi guys, good evening from Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Blessing Philippa Shaye, and you are welcome to the show Intimate Talk with Blessing podcast, where we talk about anything and everything that relates to you and I. So today, I am going to talk to you about 6 types of people you should never date. 2 weeks ago, we had Valentine, and everyone was feeling loved, and people who were not in a relationship might end up feeling bad, and they'll want to look for the need to get into a relationship right away so they will feel loved. But let me put it to you, first of all, Jesus loves you. The love he has for you is greater than any other thing. Now, there is time for everything. Last week we discussed about turn by turn. So there is time for everything. Just cool down, relax, and enjoy your singlehood. So tonight I'm going to talk about 6 types of people you should never date. I mean the people that whether you've started talking to them or you're considering it, or you feel like, oh, I'm going to fix this person. Please, as I mentioned the point, if you find out that I'm talking to you, please do the needful and patiently wait for the right one to come get you. So let's get talking. 1. Never date a person who is not healed yet or holding back the past. Let me paint a scenario. Now, being in a relationship with someone who, for every chance the person gets, the person just chips in, talks about the ex. You'll be like, oh, you talk like my ex. Oh, you eat like my ex. Oh, you make call like my ex. Hello? Those kind of people have not yet healed from their past relationship. So you do yourself a favor by allowing them to be healed. Because if you remain there, you end up not being happy. You might end up devastated if you get attached to such people. The next point is never date a person who is self-centered. Relationship is 2 people bringing out their all in all, bringing out their very best to make sure it works. So imagine one person holding back something and the other person is giving out freely. No matter how generous you are, you're going to feel it, and at the end of the day, you may end up feel like you're being cheated, whereas you could have controlled the scenario, or you would have simply walked away. Now, people only love to talk about them and their problems and their happiness. I will not give you a chance to talk. Let me paint a scenario. So, you, the guy, and the lady, the listener. The guy kept on talking and talking and talking, and the lady listened attentively. Now, when he's done and the lady wants to say her own part of the story, her own experience, the guy will be like, oh, I'm so tired. Let's go get some drinks. Let's go get coffee and all that. So, those kind of people, please, you don't have to get attached to them to avoid being heartbroken, okay? And then the next point is never date a person whose intention is not to marry you. Listen, you can't compromise your love for temporary emotions. Just don't do it for temporary pleasure. Think over future. Like I said when I started this podcast, everyone wants to date. Everybody wants to have a boyfriend. Everybody wants to feel among. Everybody wants to have a girlfriend. I know somebody will say, but if you don't date, how will you know? How will you now know who to date? Something like that. See, when 2 of you are not on the same page, there's already a problem. If you're dating someone that sees you as a 2-year goal, and the other person is seeing the other person as a lifetime goal, there's going to be a major crisis in that relationship. So, don't date a person whose intention is not to marry you. They just want you for a fling. You don't have any business there. Honestly, you really don't have any business there, and you deserve better at the end of the day. So I'll also recommend Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo and Mildred Okonkwo messages. Just go on YouTube, then Instagram, listen to their messages on I think it's Love, Dating and Marriage. I don't know the acronym. Yeah, but if you follow them, they will definitely lead you to the page. There they talk about love, they talk about marriage, talk about dating. There I learned that being single is not a curse. Being single is a blessing. Likewise, being married is also a blessing. So please, when you know that both of you are not on the same goal, not on the same plan, you do not have any business with that person. Thank you. Now, the next point is never date a person whose word never matches with the effort. How do you know that someone loves you? How? By their actions, not by their word. Anybody can say I love you and walk away. But how you know someone loves you is when they're intentional about the relationship. It's about that little effort, that little stuff they do. That's how you know someone loves you. Now, listen, the guy or the lady may be good at talking and making web of dreams, which will pull up your expectation, but ending up hurting you by showing no effort or giving you excuses. Imagine you trying to go on a date for 5 times, and on the 5 times you fix a date, you plan, you'll be like, we're going on a date on Monday night, and then on Monday afternoon they call up, oh, I'm sorry, I have something to do at the moment, and I'm sorry, can we move it to another time? And when they move it to another time, the cycle keeps repeating over and over again. When you know someone loves you, it's not by mere words, because anybody can say it. Anybody can say I love you, but the difference is the action and the effort put into the words. And then the next point is never date a person who is not clear with their feelings. Imagine you being in a relationship. The first day, I love you. The next day, I like you. The third day, I really like the kind of person you are. The fourth day, you're really nice. So you're really a nice lady. Don't date that kind of person that their feelings is not clear. There is no such thing, okay? There's no such thing as let's go with the flow. Which one is let's go with the flow? I have a target, you have a target. Which one is let's go with the flow? Anybody that says let's just see how it goes or let's go with the flow, please, it's a red flag. And the best thing you can do for yourself is to turn back. Yes, just turn back and just forget about that relationship. Because even if you try to fit in there, you end up getting hurt at the end of the day. Now, as a lady, I want you to always learn to take your own stand and be clear about what your peace demands. Take your own stand. You check yourself. Do you have peace? And another way for you to know that when you don't have peace is when the person is dribbling you. How can you tell me I like you today, the next day I love you, the third days I like the kind of your person, and you're still there having high hopes? You shouldn't date that kind of person. And then the last but not the least is never date a person who always complain and blame others every time. My dear, you can do better. How will you feel being in a relationship and something went wrong and the other person is blaming you or blaming other people for his or her own action? Being in a relationship and like, I didn't like, just maybe the man or the woman spoke rudely to someone outside, and as the other person, the other side of the relationship don't like it, and when you try to talk to this person, oh, I didn't like the way you spoke to that person outside, it was so rude, like I did not like it. And instead of the person to admit and say, oh yes, it's true, I will do better next time, the person will give excuses like, It's because when I woke up in the morning, I woke up in the wrong side of bed, and then the gate man annoyed me, and then when I went to get fuel, the fuel attendant was misbehaving, and that's why I was rude to that person. It's not like I'm rude. Excuse me, they are rude. That's who they are. So long they're not ready to take up the responsibility, to take the blame to themselves, then that's it. So you shouldn't fight it, okay? Just do not be attached to those kind of people, because I'm there's something I really know. Like, when someone you love, or you're trying to love, or you're planning to love, like, I look out for the way people treat people outside. Now, if your date is rude to someone outside, or looking down on someone because the person doesn't have money like him, and you just look over it and you just act like, oh, it's this person outside, really they're not of the same level. Newsflash, they will also do it to you. Being rude to people outside shows how they behave with others. They feel powerful while making someone agree on their views and perspective. You may end up losing your own values with them. So do not try to date someone who always complain and blame others every time. Now, I hope I was able to nail this conversation. Thank you for listening, and I will also recommend you to Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo and Pastor Mildred Okonkwo, the relationship expert. And if you have anything relationship, they're talking about a whole lot of things. They talk about being single, and they have thousands and beautiful books. Yeah, even for every stage of any relationship, they have books. They have a book titled Questions Wise Men Ask, Question Wise Women Ask. Like, in that stage is when you just met someone. There's this particular question you have to ask. Now, from the answer, you know if this person is serious or not. And then we have Kyle, written by Pastor Mildred, and it's talking about the virtuous woman. How, in short, for every place in your life, they all have a book for you. So I recommend you follow them on their Instagram page, subscribe to their YouTube channel, and be blessed, because that's where I'm blessed from, and that's where I picked one or two things from there too, and they really, really helped me too. So thank you so much for listening. Don't forget you're listening to Intimate Talk with Blessing podcast, and we have a YouTube channel. Please, I want you to subscribe, comment, share, tell your friends about it. Do not hoard this information to yourself only. Please do not be stingy. So thank you so much for listening. I'm going to see you same time next week by the special grace of God. I love you so much. Bye.